Now at 9, a new way for you to report potholes in town. We'll tell you how right here on NewsLink Indiana.
And an on-campus organization is worried not all students know what they have to offer. Tonight, we'll tell you what the organization does for students.
And I'm tracking cold temperatures that are moving in through Indiana tonight and tomorrow. I'll have more in my forecast.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us on this Wednesday night. I'm Tyler Brummett.
And I'm Annie Keister. Now, tonight we're on pothole patrol as citizens of Muncie now have a new way to report street damage.
Yeah, Annie, NewsLink Indiana's Brittany Dobbins shows us how.
I'm worried about my tires and if they're going to pop or not.
Muncie potholes are always a topic of discussion. After one gets fixed, there's another that needs to be repaired.
I feel like there are a lot and they could do something to fix them.
And it did. The city of Muncie now has a new way to report the numerous amounts of potholes and damage on its streets. The city's engineer and street superintendent Brian Stevens-Hotop says it's a way to keep the reports organized.
What's changed, I think, is the ease of which we're trying to make reporting the problems.
Once you come across a pothole just like this one, all you have to do is simply pull out your phone and report it on their website. When you get to the website, you can submit a street problem. You can also see the problems that have already been reported, as well as a map of all the potholes reported in the last 30 days.
Some of the things that we're trying to address as well are streetlight outages.
Even though streetlights are not owned by the city, the reportings can help the utility company know where they are so they can be replaced. And when NewsLink Indiana asked Thomas if he was aware of this reporting system, he said,
I did not know that.
After you do report the pothole or street damage, you are able to track its status. In Muncie, Brittany Dobbins, NewsLink Indiana.
Wow, those potholes just look like a headache out there, and you should know that the city will continue to accept phone call reportings, but it does also encourage you to use its website. We've got that link online at ballstatedaily.com.
And a proposal to ban drivers from using handheld cell phones while driving is moving forward in the state legislature. A state Senate committee voted 8-1 yesterday to endorse the bill. The new law would permit cell phone use with hands-free or voice-operated technology only.
Meanwhile, Uber is trying to make your rides more comfortable and safe. The rideshare company is launching on-trip reporting. This lets you discreetly give alerts about non-emergency incidents. Uber says those include things like inappropriate conversations as well as reckless driving. Riders can send the alerts during their trip in real time. Uber says it will take action if it sees a pattern of behavior over time. And moving on now to that weather, Annie, it was a beautiful day out there. The temperatures were a bit warmer than what we saw late last week. I know as far as the temperatures, it was just more comfortable out there.
Certainly much better than anything we've been dealing with lately. We're going to go ahead and send it over to weather forecaster Joseph Williams. Joseph, good evening.
Tyler, Annie, I agree with you. It's much better than it was in the last couple of weeks. But it is cold outside right now. Temperatures in the low 30s across much of the state. So it doesn't cross much of Indiana. But at least it's a little bit, clear outside, although we are seeing some clouds beginning to move in and stuff like that. But overall, we're looking at the next headlines. First things first, I'm going to be covering sunny but cold conditions for Thursday, for tomorrow. Next, I'm going to be covering up the warm-up that's going to be happening over the weekend. And then finally, I'm going to be covering the rain chances that are going to be happening the next week. So make sure that you are just paying attention to the forecast, guys.
All right, Joseph, we'll check back in a bit. Thank you. Continuing on now with a story that we've been on top of. The coronavirus isn't a stranger to us anymore. In fact, the 16th case of the virus in the U.S. was confirmed. In total, there have been nearly 49,000 cases and more than 2,000 people have died as a result. NewsLink Indiana's Harper Robinson tells us how it's hitting close to home for at least one Cardinal.
2006 Ball State graduate Holly Allen was living with her husband and two young daughters in Suzhou, China when the coronavirus started to spread. She says she had to flee before it was too late.
I woke up, and I think actually it was a note from my dad that pushed me over the edge. He sent me a note on Instagram and was pretty persistent. He said, I really think you need to come home. And he said, please listen to me this time.
Allen and her family booked the soonest flight out of Shanghai. Allen says she had never seen the airline app that busy before. Flights were being booked and canceled left and right. She and her family were able to book a flight and leave right before the virus began to spread rapidly.
I found a flight on Tuesday that was an awful flight. It had 2 stops on the way back. It was 30 hours to get back to Dayton, where we live. And I told my husband, I said, okay, well, we can fly out Tuesday, but it's a terrible flight. We have 2 little girls who will be miserable. Or there's a flight on Thursday that only has 1 stop. It's not as bad of a flight. And he said, book the Tuesday flight. And he said, it's our lives we're talking about.
Alan says she and her family were lucky to be able to make it out of China without being held there and quarantined. Coming back into the U.S., they had to go through screenings to make sure none of them had a fever. They were all fine and able to continue their journey home.
The whole thing was such a whirlwind. It was a hard decision to leave. I mean, we still have our apartment there. We're still paying rent. We don't know when we'll go back. When we packed our things, we thought, oh, well, we'll be home for 2 to 3 weeks, and it's turning out to be much longer. I think for us, I don't even think we were processing what was going on. We just wanted to get home. We walked in the house. It was maybe midnight or 1 a.m. Our neighbors had left a welcome home banner, but it was just kind of there was relief when we walked in the front door, but there was also, what now?
Alan says she hopes to know what is next in store for their family in the upcoming months as they reside again now in Dayton, Ohio. Harper Robinson, NewsLink, Indiana.
Holly and her family expected to stay in China for over a year. She also told NewsLink her family plans to go back once things have settled. Annie?
Jaguar Land Rover has decided to fly auto parts made in China to its European factories rather than relying on slow-moving cargo ships. The move comes as the new coronavirus outbreak puts a dent in the car company's supply chain. Chinese factories are struggling to reopen due to restrictions from the outbreak. Jaguar Land Rover's CEO says shipping by air is more expensive but is faster and will allow European factories to continue production. They'll run out of 17 different parts in another 2 weeks. Jaguar Land Rover is one of many global automakers that have come to depend on the flow of parts from China.
Also tonight, the man acquitted in the 2013 murder of a Florida teen is suing 2 Democratic presidential candidates. George Zimmerman says Pete Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren defamed him in tweets on what would have been Trayvon Martin's 25th birthday. Buttigieg tweeted in part, quote, "How many 25th birthdays have been stolen from us by white supremacy, gun violence, prejudice, and fear?" And Warren, she tweeted out, "We need to end gun violence and racism." He claims even though his name isn't mentioned, they are unfairly linking him to gun violence and white supremacy. Zimmerman was acquitted, claiming self-defense under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Meanwhile, Senator Bernie Sanders leads the pack of Democratic presidential hopefuls. That's according to CNN's poll of polls. It shows Sanders with support among 28% of registered Democrats as well as Democratic-leaning independents and likely Democratic voters. Former Vice President Joe Biden is in second with 16%, followed by former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg in third, with Senator Elizabeth Warren in fourth. The third contest of this year's nominating process takes place Saturday when voters in Nevada will head to the polls.
And WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange could be President Trump's next pardon. That's what one online news outlet, TheHill.com, is saying. It says Assange's lawyers claim a former representative of the president offered a pardon on one condition. That's if Assange would deny any Russian involvement in the 2016 hack of the Democratic National Convention. The White House denies this claim, calling the offer a lie and suggesting it could have come from the DNC. The representative in question released a statement saying he has never spoken to Trump about Assange. He did, however, meet with Assange and offer to talk to Trump about a pardon if Assange could provide evidence about who gave him the DNC emails.
Feeding students on campus. When we come back, we're going to tell you about the organization working to help get students groceries.
However, something you might not want to eat later, we'll take a look at an unconventional ad from a burger giant.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Back now live on NewsLink Indiana. For 6 years, an organization on campus has brought resources to students in need.
However, organization leaders are worried not all students and faculty know about it. NewsLink Indiana's Marley Thomas has the story.
To students, the Multicultural Center is just another building they pass on their way to class. Located behind the Student Center on McKinley Avenue, it's considered to be a busy part of campus. But as students walk by, Carol Westfall, the Assistant Director of Student Life, says there's a good chance students don't know what's inside.
Cardinal Kitchen is an on-campus food pantry completely for students, run by students.
The Cardinal Kitchen Food Pantry is located on the second floor in the Multicultural Building. They also offer toiletry items such as toilet paper, feminine hygiene products, and soap. Westfall is proud of all the products the pantry has to offer, but she's worried that not many students know about it.
I think there are still students out there who don't know that we exist. There are faculty and staff who don't know that we exist, so they don't know to refer students to us.
Westfall was right. Not all students know about the pantry. Even while trying to promote it, she believes it's hard to get the word out to everyone. Ball State student Haley Beatty says she's not sure why she didn't know about it.
I normally check my email pretty regularly, so I don't know how I didn't see anything. It might have just gone to my junk mail.
Westfall wants students to know they are always welcome to come. All they need to do is bring their student ID. They will also be asked to fill out a form indicating how many people they are providing for.
We will ask them to fill out a form. Really on the form, there's a handful of required information, and it's just their name, how many people are in their home, so if they have dependents.
Cardinal Kitchen is open on the last 3 Tuesdays of every month. In Muncie, Marley Thomas, NewsLink, Indiana.
Some good stuff there, and you can find more information regarding the food pantry on Ball State's website.
Some consumer news for you tonight. Look at this right here. Burger King just released a stomach-turning ad. It looks good right there, but it's not going to look like that here in a second. It's going to show an all-natural Whopper rotting over time, over the course of 34 days. And by the last day, you're starting to see it right there. The burger is covered in blue and green mold. Ooh, I'm not a fan of that. The tag for this campaign, the beauty of no artificial preservatives. This new Whopper has already been released at, get this, 400 locations. Now, by the end of the year, this all-natural Whopper will be available at all restaurants, so something I might try.
And Americans are letting their credit go away, like gift cards, airline vouchers, and store credit. A new survey shows Americans are wasting billions of dollars of credit. The survey Bankrate.com estimates $21 billion of gift card credits are going to waste. Millennials lead, and around 55% of them leave credit cards unused. However, 64% of Americans say they're saving and plan to use it at some point, but a little over a third say they're fine with letting their gift cards and other store credit go to waste. And something we might not be taking advantage of anytime soon might be the weather. Joseph?
Yeah, right now we're going to see temperatures cooling down during the overnight hours, and those cool temperatures will stick around. I'll have more after the break.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. but I can't.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
9:16 the time right now on your Wednesday night live look right now over the Johnson complex. It's dark now, but earlier today we saw sunny skies, Joseph, and I know you're saying that there's a big cool down on the way.
Yep, that's exactly what I am saying, my good man. So I would keep those jackets around if I were you. But right now, all I'm going to say, it is cool outside for tonight. You know, definitely in Muncie, for example. And right now, temperature is around 32 degrees with northwesterly winds around 5 miles per hour. It feels like 27 degrees because of those wind chills. And it's like this across much of Indiana. For example, we had a temperature of 29 in Kokomo and 30 in Lafayette. So it is cool outside across much of Indiana. Well, at least it's been clear outside for the most part. Looking at tonight, we expect partly cloudy conditions with a temperature of 24 degrees with a northwesterly wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So keep a jacket on you as you're heading out for tonight. Looking at tomorrow, Thursday is going to be the coolest day of this week so far with a temperature of 28 degrees and northerly winds of around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Those northerly winds will be important because it will make tomorrow's temperatures feel a lot cooler. This is what I'm talking about. Wind chill, which basically is a measure of how it feels when you go outside in cool temperatures because of those winds and cool temperatures. It suggested it was around 11 degrees in Marion and 12 in Anderson by around 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So if you happen to be taking your kids to school for tomorrow morning, make sure that you are covering them in multiple layers and multiple jackets because it's going to be cold out. And looking at around 3 p.m. into a Thursday afternoon, you're still going to want to make sure your kids are wrapped up in a whole bunch of clothing because it's still going to be cold out with temperatures around the mid-teens. Wind chills in the mid-teens with some more wind chills around 11 degrees by around 9 p.m. So it's going to be cold out for tonight. And that's basically because of the jet stream where cold air is beginning to descend from the north and basically move into the Hoosier area, bringing all that cold air into the state. By around, that's around 7 a.m. tomorrow. By around 5 p.m. though, we're going to start noticing that cold air will begin moving out and we'll start having some warmer temperatures move in. And notice this big dome of yellow and orange moving here. We're going to see some greens and then we're moving, settling into Indiana for around Saturday and Sunday, indicating warmer temperatures. And that also can be shown by the fact that we see some pretty clear conditions for decision cast. For example, Friday and Saturday are going to be pretty cloudless for the most part, except we're going to start seeing some clouds moving on Sunday. However, by Sunday evening, we're going to start seeing some more clouds and rain begin moving into Indiana. So make sure that you're heading out over the weekend that you're wearing a rain jacket. And that could be also summed up by this trend where we start out dry for Thursday and Saturday, but we start seeing more higher chances for Sunday and Monday. So in summary, it's going to be cold. It's going to start out cold for Thursday and Friday, but it's going to warm up for Saturday. So I'm pretty excited about Saturday. But Sunday, Monday are going to involve rain chances. So definitely not exciting about that part.
As far as these next few days go, I'm willing to trade in a few degrees for some sunlight, though.
Yes, I am pretty excited about. I would do the same thing here, guys.
Yeah, it seemed like winter went away there for a little bit. Now it's coming back. Joseph, thank you so much. And I know women's basketball, they're taking on Northern Illinois tonight. And Darius, you've got more on that coming up in just a moment.
Yeah, and we'll also have the latest about the Mid-American Singles Player of the Week when we come back.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds. We surround a community's most critical problems. And we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Weeknights, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal weather. We've got the latest news headlines.
Freezing temperatures have set in all the way down in Louisiana.
One man dead after flooding in Venice, Italy.
Up to the minute weather conditions.
Cold temperatures are the story this morning.
And of course, lots of fun.
It is not funny.
What on earth is happening there?
I feel sorry for the little guy.
I've got my socks on. Annie with her curly hair, which is actually never curly. Join us Friday mornings at 8 on Facebook Live.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Darius Black with sports. The Ball State women's team was in action tonight. The Cardinals are currently on a 4-game win streak and kept it rolling tonight. Austin Brown led the Cardinals to victory, putting up 28-13. The final score was 97-89. The Ball State women's gymnastics team has broken the school record, and NewsLink Indiana's Daniel Smith analyzed the record-breaking routine and beamed some light on the story.
The Ball State gymnastics team has broken the school record with a score of 195.75, beating the previous record of 195.65. Their record-setting performance took place Sunday, February 16th at Worthen Arena. Head coach Joanna Salim talked about what setting a new school record says for this group of young women.
It's an exciting time to be part of the program, knowing that they're able to come in and be strong and be able to perform the way that they did last weekend is definitely something that we're excited about.
Salim also talked about some of the goals the team set before the season started and where they're at on achieving them.
Our goals are more along the lines of coming into the gym each day and making sure that we put forth a little bit more effort than what we did the day before.
Junior Claudia Goico talked about the team as a whole and how she sees them as a fellow gymnast.
I can safely say that this is one of the most tightly knit teams. We're probably the strongest team that we've had. We're the most talented, versatile team that I've seen come through here, and I've only been here for 3 years, so.
The gymnastics team will battle Kent State in their next matchup, which will be held at Worthen Arena Sunday, February 23rd. That matchup will also be Alumni Day for Ball State. In Muncie, Nathaniel Smith, NewsLink, Indiana.
So, Goico was also named MAC Specialist of the Week earlier today. The Ball State men's tennis freshman Paris Simmons was named MAC West Player of the Week. He has a record of 6-2 in singles play as a true freshman. Parrish has won his last 4 singles matches. The team will be back in action Friday at 3 o'clock in Valparaiso. Not only are a couple Ball State athletes being honored, so are 2 Bruin freshmen. Olivia Lees and Liv Waters each received first-team All-CIC honors this afternoon. Not only did they receive the highest conference honor, they did so as freshmen. Lees put up just shy of 13 points per game this season, as Waters just put up shy of 11. They averaged over half the team's points this season for each game. Conference play was even stronger for them, and these two, Lees and Waters, near 14 points a game per CIC matchup. They led the Bruins to the first 10-win season since 2015. NASCAR driver Ryan Newman was released from the hospital today after receiving treatment following his scary crash this week. In Monday's Daytona 500, Newman was leading the race when he crashed into the wall and was hit on his driver's side by Corey LaJoie. Newman was hospitalized at Daytona Beach Hospital and had been there since Monday before his release earlier today. Newman was seen walking around and even joking with his daughters earlier today. Even though he has been released, there is no timetable for his return.
Certainly any type of racing is going to hit home here in Indiana, especially with Newman being a Hoosier himself. He's one of our own, so of course hoping for a speedy recovery.
Absolutely, and looking at that crash once again, it really just brings chills to you, but the good news, again, released from the hospital. I know that video was cute earlier today of him walking out with his daughter, so we're happy that he's doing well. Darius, thank you so much. Now, you could go to space. When we come back, we're going to tell you about how you can make it to outer space.
And if space is a little too far for you, I've got a shorter trip you might be interested. We'll have both of those after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Now, two stories handpicked by Tyler and I. What could be turning people into superheroes? Jetman Dubai built a jet-powered wingsuit. Go ahead and take a look here. The pilot took off from the ground and made it to nearly 6,000 feet in the air at about 150 miles an hour. And if you're wondering how this thing is made, that's carbon fiber, and it's powered by 4 mini jet engines. Now they just have to work on landing back on the ground without a parachute. Sounds like an important part to me.
Yeah, that's really cool. And some thrill seekers might not just like that one. They might also like this. They might be dreaming of flying to space, and they may soon have a shot at it. SpaceX has signed a deal that would send 4 people aboard its Crew Dragon spacecraft. The spaceship is just 13 feet across, so a tight squeeze, but passengers would spend 5 days in space and go further away from Earth. And any astronaut has in decades, no word yet on what the price tag will be, but a spokesman says it will likely be tens of millions of dollars, so a bit pricey.
What a shame.
Probably won't be able to afford it.
I was planning on it. That is such a shame.
Yeah, well, we might not be able to afford that, but that weather out there, today it was priceless, but I know it's going to be pricey tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, exactly the same. I feel the same way. Thursday, we expect a high of 28 and low of 15.
Too cold.
So it's going to be the coldest day of the week. After that, we expect a bit of a warm-up period, especially with Saturday, with a high of 45. However, with sunny skies for Friday and Saturday. However, we expect rain showers for Sunday and Monday. So enjoy these next couple of days while you can, because unfortunately, it's just going to be rainy after that.
Just can't be perfect.
All right, Thank you, Joseph. Now that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the Facebook page.
And we've got more news for you online at ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night, everyone.